Hey guys, how's it going? I'm back again with one of my favorite fragrances in my collection, and it's a very personal favorite fragrance of mine. How is it a favorite? It's a favorite in such a way that it's a special fragrance. It's those I reserve for the special days to wear this fragrance. It's definitely a classic and powerhouse from back in the time, and I'll tell you everything I got from my testing. And this fragrance is none other than Drakkar Noir by Guy Laroche. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's Drakkar Noir basically, alright? And this fragrance, actually, I'll let you know before I start the review, it has been reformulated since it's not the original 1982, the classic. So this is like a reformulated version that I'm reviewing, alright? So I'll show you all the packaging, all the details, I'll tell you the notes, as well as what kind of scenario, who is it for. But before I start all that, I'll tell you a little story. I love stories, like to relate it with my reviews, all right? So back in like 2000s, right? 2001 or 2, back in the time I had absolutely no clue about fragrances like notes, seasons, whatnot. And I used to own like Dunhill Desire Red, maybe. I forgot CK1, those, like Lacoste Puram, those kind of fragrances from my university and college days. So before that, even before that, I was collecting like body sprays, like Axe, Nike, uh, some of these Malaysian brands because I was in Malaysia back then. So there's an area in Malaysia. It's called Masjid India. If you ever been to Malaysia, definitely go there in city center Kuala Lumpur. It's called Masjid India. All right. So it's not part of India. Don't be confused. It's like a little Indian area within Malaysia. So the India basically is not representing the Indian Indians. It's more like the Indian population, like Indian Malaysians, right? So yeah, so there they had have few shops, very popular shops. One is called Maidin, other one is called Hanifa. So around there's a lot of Indian food, Murukku and this and that. Very always crowded, hard to find a parking spot. So I went to Hanifa like 2000 somewhere, and I saw like I was looking through fragrance. I had no clue what is fragrances, like original, fake, whatever. So I saw this fragrance that is like shaped like this bottle, all right, and it was called Dakota, and I'm pretty sure there's no fragrance called Dakota. That was basically a fake fragrance. So I saw the bottle; it was like much longer and taller, and I thought, this is that, all right. This is actually that was the fragrance that copied this. But for some reason, it smelled really nice. Didn't last that long, maybe like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But I bought it. It was like 15 ringgit. It's not much. 15, 20 ringgit. It's very cheap. So I got that, I got good memories of it because Dakota, I think of like Count Dracula for some reason. So I was like, cool name. So forget about that stupid, silly story. But then I saw this somewhere, later on. I'm like, why did they copy my favorite cheap fragrance, Dakota? And then later with my study and everything, I thought I knew this is the original fragrance. Stupid, silly story. So anyway, let me show you the presentation. Fortunately, I have the box with me today, and it was right in front, so I didn't have to dig it up between 200 boxes. Here's the box. It's a beautiful, nice, simplistic sort of box. It has very nice pattern. You can feel it. It's not smooth. It says EDT 100 ml. Yep, 100 ml, 3.4 fluid ounces. Drakkar Noir, very nice sort of like a LED thing going through. Up there, nothing much. Back there, your information, made in Paris. All right. Bottom, some information. I think you find your batch code somewhere here. All right. So the whole pattern continues. It's like a nice black, sort of manly dark, very nice combination, right? Okay, so that's your box. So the bottle is sort of simplistic, have a cheap feel to it, but it's from the back in the time. The sprayer even looks more tackier than the bottle, but I have no problem with it because I love this fragrance. So it has like a sort of like a shower gel. You use like X shower gel or Lynx, whatever, that sort of a thing. But this is glass. This part is glass, and the cap is very cheap. It's like you can see it's moving. So nothing mind blowing, but it goes with the whole shape. So the sprayer, as you see, sort of like old school classic. Doesn't look very expensive because of this part here. But the thing is, it has, and it looks very small to be 100 ml. So I have the fragrance in my hand here, dried on for about half an hour. So I'm gonna show you the sprayer on the other side. All right, here. I'm gonna make this my scent of the night. Shoots out a lot of juice, as you can see. So the sprayer, whatever complaints I was doing, so as long as it shoots spray, good. And at top you see you have a Drakkar, I don't know, it's a DK Drakkar, I don't know if it's that's what it's representing. All right, and it's back there some more information. Bottom, I think there's nothing much. So yeah, sort of simplistic. And here is your batch code, by the way, if you're scared of fakes. So For presentation, everything, nothing mind-blowing, but I like the cool feel to it. It's very cool, like smooth feel, very manly. All right, for presentation, 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, the top note. So what is this fragrance all about? Let me tell you the notes quickly from Fragrantica. Some people ask me like, why don't you say the notes anymore? All right. So this is actually this fragrance. I have my notes in my other phone. So this one was introduced, original one, 1982, 1 year after I was born. All right. So very old school, back in the time, where good movies like Scarface and those other good movies are coming out. Good old days. All right. And it was like nose behind it is difficult name. Pardon me if I get this wrong or I butcher it. His name is Pierre Wargnye. That's it. I'm gonna put the details anyway afterwards. And the thing is, the top notes are, by the way, this fragrance, it's about notes. These are the good days of fragrance, like community, like fragrance as a whole, like a lot of notes in this notes heavy fragrance. So top notes are rosemary, artemisia, lavender, basil, lemon verbena, bergamot, and lemon. All right. Middle notes are coriander, carnation, cinnamon, juniper, jasmine. Base notes are leather, sandalwood, fir, amber, patchouli, oakmoss, vetiver, and cedar. So I would be really, really happy if I got all that from this still beautiful fragrance, but unfortunately I don't. This fragrance, I think, lost a lot of balls along the way, and never mind, let me put aside the box. So this fragrance, actually, let me tell you a few things. First of all, this is a very mature man's fragrance. This is right away not up your alley if you're a young person and looking for something playful from the modern era. Like if you like, let me show you some fragrances. What is this where this fragrance, which family it belongs to? First of all, let me show you the legend, Lapidus Puram by Lapidus, Dead Lapidus, sorry, Kuros by YSL, my favorite baby. There's also Van Cleef & Arpels Puram, one of my classic gorgeous dark fragrance. Then there is also a little bit powdery scent like Bogart Puram, beautiful scent for the winter. And the thing is, the next one, Pakoraban Puram, lot of fragrance I'm showing you, as well as Azara Puram. So all these fragrances that I showed you just now. One more fragrance I'll show you just again, Lamal. Doesn't really belong to this family because this is much more playful and everything, but I'll tell you why I showed this. So all these fragrances, other fragrances apart from Lamal you saw, they are powerhouses. They are very harsh in the opening, very strong, not for faint-hearted. So that's where Drakkar Noir used to be. As far as I remember, I used to smell this a lot on my uncles, my father, my other uncles like my mother's brother. They used to use this back in the 80s. And this was much more potent. I used to smell this on every weekend, like Fridays I used to wear weekends in Bangladesh. And people would be wearing this day and night. This was signature scent for a lot of people like Old Spice, people who used to wear, what else they used to wear? Back in the time, like those sort of heavy fragrances. This is what used to be very popular. But the thing is, back then, this fragrance used to be much more of a beast. I'm pretty sure they took out the oak moss from it. I don't smell that much oak moss in it. It's a nice fragrance. It's a nighttime fragrance, adult fragrance, more mature still. And it smells like, on the opening, I get very beautiful sweetness, like a sort of like a barbershop feel, bit of powderiness which comes from the lavender right from the beginning. All right, you get a little bit, I think, a feel of some sweetness coming from it, some fruitiness to it. I don't know if it's the Ted Lapidus, and this somewhat has the same vibe on the opening, powdery sort of pineapple. This one I get from it like the juniper berries maybe. So it has this bit of sweetness, and it has a little bit of let me see the notes once again because I forgot other notes. Yeah, I'm a little bit lazy today. I should have remembered all the notes. Yeah, okay. So I think it was lemon verbena and then the rosemary. Yeah, those are the opening bit of lemon, sort of citrus mixed with pineapple or some other fruit alongside with that lavender. So a bit of powdery right from the beginning, sort of barbershop. Reminds me a lot of Azaros Puram, okay, the classic. So this one is a bit more on the like gutsy side, not that safe. This feels like a gutsy, not so gutsy. This is sort of like your father would wear, very trusted, like a family member would wear. And this fragrance smells like, you can trust this guy, he's a good guy, he's been there, nice-hearted, like mature man, sort of like a father figure. That's the kind of scent I get from this. It does remind me of back in the days, but in a very mild way. So they toned down to it to make it very modern take. So I think due to that, it's much more wearable today. And if you're into those like sort of barbershop fragrances, I think Rive Gauche used to be a spicy one. I don't have Rive Gauche, but I have a copy recent days. They tried to copy from Arma of Niche, but this is much more spicier. So this one doesn't have that much spice. So on the transformation, all right, I think in the center, the meat rather, I get those green herbal qualities coming up. The coriander, maybe a bit of the patchouli darkness, but the strong notes of this leather, and I think also far, those are gone. So if you are not a fan of those things, you're gonna be very happy. But if you're a fan of those other I showed you just now, the Kuros, Lapidus, you're gonna be a bit disappointed. Longevity on this is not that great anymore. I mean, I'm using this on the summer days, summer nights actually, mostly nighttime wearing. I get pretty good like 3 hours, solid 3 hours. After 3 hours, it's hard to detect how many sprays I would go heavy on this, because since this has lost its potency in my country. If you are in the overseas, maybe you go less, up to you. But I go like 1, 2, some on my shirt. I go liberal, 5, 6 sprays. That makes it last 4, 5 hours if you're pushing it. Extreme heat, it doesn't work. No. I feel in Bangladesh, if you know, Fridays or weekend, so everybody relaxes. This smells like a weekend scent for me. Not definitely everyday wear. Not many people be wearing this, but people who are above 40, if they pass you by, highly likely you might smell this on them. So yeah, pretty much a mature scent, but I know many young individuals today, they're very mature. They like their fragrances heavy. Look into this. Very, very lovely, warm, cozy, lovable father figure sort of a thing. So if you know women, how they react to this, would they dig this in the clubbing? I think it will work. Why not? If you are confident and if you are a man, handsome man like me, look at this like little bit combination of beard that I have, like a little bit white and a little bit like gray, what do you call, gray hair and gray beard. And then, I'm just kidding, by the way, I'm not good looking by any means. But yes, if you're a confident middle-aged man, like 30 above, 35 above, and you're a little bit got some age on you, frankly speaking, but you are still young at your heart and you're a little bit playful, but you're not like an a-hole or anything. You're not like a perv, but you are playful. You always keep people into, like, you are the funny guy. You are the family man who don't crack dirty jokes yet make people laugh. Yep, Drakkar Noir. This is a good scent for those people. And young girls, like let's say maybe half your age, like you're 40 and she's like 20s, she would dig this if you're wearing it and you're rocking this with your personality, right? At night time, and you're not like trying to like get to her or something, but sometimes girls like that, elder people who have class, who have much more maturity about them, something calm and cool and soothing about them. This fragrance reminds me of that. Very confident, sort of mature man, but not in a dated way by any means. So a little bit after shaving cream, barber shop, and very handsome, mature yet young at heart. That's the fragrance I think Drakkar Noir is to me. That's why I love wearing this and I don't get tired. It doesn't perform that much, but yeah, I have my trusted Kuros for that. This lasts on me whole day, summer, winter, whatever. So yeah, for longevity, I'm gonna give this a little bit bad 6. 6 is very poor in my book because I usually give 8 and above. Projection, if you go heavy on the sprayer, it will go like 7.5 out of 10. All right, go heavy. And time to wear this, try winter. Winter is better. Don't try this in the heat. Lavender doesn't usually work. And scent wise, I'll give this very high mark. I love the smell of this. 9 out of 10 for my nose. You may not like it because a bit old school sort of like gangster, like educated gangster, so like Robert De Niro, if he was robbing, imagine that movie Heat. So he's the bank robber, but he's educated at the same time. He would be wearing this. So yeah, Robert De Niro, think he could be a signature scent. For overall, I'm gonna give this 8.5 out of 10. Why? Because of the smell, the way it brings back all those good days, 80s, 90s, and I can safely say this is not a scary fragrance. This is not a perf fragrance. This is not forgot to mention Lamal. It has the powdery effect, which this one also has. So that way they're similar, but this is much more flirtier. This is a guy who try to get to your pants, ladies. This one, not so much. The ladies, they're gonna come to the guy anyway. Confident guy. All right, so overall remark 8.5 out of 10. And this is my review on Drakkar Noir for the real man. Still a beautiful juice. Love it. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you soon. And do let me know what is your opinion on this, on the vintage, if you smelled it, and the current formulation. Take care, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.